Hey, Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you for tuning in to the YouTube channel that we have just begun marketing on this year in 2022. To show your support, do not forget to give us a like and a subscribe soon. Did you know the month of April was cause awareness for different, topics like autism or poetry? And today I just wanted to give reverence to the fact that April is also reserved for sexual harassment or sexual assault awareness month. Did you know that? Before I jump in, let me remind people, because you might be new to this channel, if you want to learn more about our services to assist authors and freelancers just like you, visit my website, www.contentcrownpublications.com. This is where you can access the direct, it'll be like a box link that says get a consultation. When you click there, you'll automatically be directed to the app that lets you guys book consultations to learn more about our services, okay? Everybody's first consultation is absolutely free. So yay, happy to announce that to you guys. Sexual assault could look like pretty much the assault of any individual or even animal, right? Pretty much against their will. It's crazy. Against their will and in a form of violence sometimes. I'm just putting it in my own words if I was asked what I feel like it is. It can be described as a type of misconduct, a level of misconduct, even if you are verbally speaking a certain way to a person. My thing is, society has really fallen behind on keeping the moral and principles of these type of things. We know in public places it's preached, no sexual assault, no sexual harassment. But a lot of people do get kind of like emotionally tempered when they find out that something they simply said, or a way that they simply looked at somebody, or a joke they may have took too far, and it was in a sexual manner, could very well be considered sexual assault, okay? Ways that we can remain aware, and this can happen to a man or a woman, and especially children are even becoming victims of things like sexual assault. And you want to, for example, teach your children at a young age how to recognize risky or concerning behavior that is occurring around them or somewhere they are going. And then you as an adult want to always be aware and be able to recognize risky or dangerous behaviors, when it comes to sexual assault and what that might look like. Somebody grabbing your arm and you saying stop, but they're saying you're so pretty. It's crazy. I can't even think of a just great example, but I want to give examples that everybody wouldn't think about every day, like the slightest littlest thing. If we would hammer down on just what we would think is little forms of sexual assault, I don't think the bigger cases would even exist. So yes, it is important to determine each situation appropriately that calls for action. So maybe you've told this man, this woman, this child, whoever it's happening with, look, I don't like your behavior, it's making me uncomfortable, and they don't stop. To me, in this form, this type of situation would call for action, especially if somebody is at risk for danger, because they're not understanding when you say no. And the thing about people that catch sexual assault charges, they 9 times out of 10, their victim gave them a chance to stop or change because they were making them feel uncomfortable. Sexual assault can also help happen to the elderly. Get out of the stigma and mind frame that this only happens to people that people are attracted to. Sometimes these crimes can be senseless, and it happens in places you wouldn't believe. When it comes to the elderly, yes, but nobody deserves that against their will. Like I said, decide to take responsibility. So taking responsibility will be knowing your rights, Once you have told a person to stop, or that it makes you feel uncomfortable, if you come to them and you tried to work that out yourself, or you went and asked somebody about what a child said might have happened, this is taking responsibility. This is making sure you're even aware of your surroundings, your environment, and those same surroundings and environments for your children. Because unfortunately, even at schools, sexual assault, not just between the kids, but you got teachers these days, unfortunately, instructors in college. So sexual assault knows no age, color, gender. This could simply happen to anybody. Learn ways to intervene while remaining safe, especially, right, like if you're just an onlooker, or you kind of see it from afar, and you suspect that it's going on somewhere. Learn ways that you can intervene, like I said, by staying safe. Well health checks are always good, and requesting them for somebody, whether it's in a nursing home, a jail, or whatever. That's another place I forgot that sexual assault has become very prevalent and normal. And as much as people joke and laugh about it, it's really terrible. That's one of the number one places sexual assaults happen, So knowing there are lots of resources like the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I just want to share the number on this segment: 800-799-7233. That's 800-799-7233. Then you have the National Sexual Assault Hotline, 800-656-HOPE. 800-656-HOPE. 4673. So these type of hotlines are there 24/7 for support. They're open, for calls. There's the Trans Lifeline, because people have different sexual preferences these days. But this doesn't mean that somebody like that, gay or whatever y'all want to call it, trans or trisexual, bisexual, can't be sexually assaulted. And at that point, there's a number for them too. There's a hotline. It says here that it's operated by trans, people that come from that lifestyle who could support other people that may be dealing with non-consensual type of assaults. Okay, their number is 1-877-565-8860, and then the deaf hotline. Because I have the deaf hotline number here, but if this could happen to deaf people, it's probably happening to blind people, anybody in any type of handicap situation in general. Isn't that sad? This is just raising awareness, Sexual Assault Awareness Month for the month of April. Anybody who probably couldn't just defend themselves, or they know, or they consider weak, or a pushover, or, which is weak. It's weak of that person to think that way. Like, this is going to be my victim for sexual assault. This is why oftentimes it is women and children. But I was bringing up things like trans, gay people, deaf people, blind people. These are also people who deal with sexual assault on a day-to-day basis, just because their voice may not be as expandable as the average person when it comes to these things. And even as the average person, you speaking up, it's not promised that you're not going to have a fight on your hands. You got evidence. Any case is going to take not just evidence, but courage, protection, and imagine not feeling protected to begin with. That's how usually sexual assaults get to the level they get to. Some people did nothing wrong. They wore nothing revealing. Somebody just saw them as a target of prey for these type of crimes, okay? The deaf hotline is going to be 1-855-812-1001. So this is going to be for the deaf, disabled survivors, like somebody that might have they weren't deaf all their life, but they ended up suffering that way. And there's also a chat, because if they can't hear, this number right here, I just ate and this is bothering me. Mayonnaise. They can chat with these guys, because just because they're deaf doesn't mean they can't see, and and you can call them, or a deaf person can call them themselves or chat with them to explain the crime they might be suffering from when it comes to sexual assault. And then there's the crisis text line. You're going to text HOME to 741-741 for free, 24/7 hours a day. Confidential support will be available via text message to victims of abuse and any other type of crisis. Again, these things exist today because sexual assaults are very real. Like I say, it can be woman on man or man on woman or two men on one man. Either way, it's still the same type of crime. And it's terrible that we have humans that cannot control themselves in that way when it comes to their cravings or whatever you would call that. You can always just know there's somebody on these 24/7 hotlines that you can talk to, trained staff members, to connect with local sexual assault service providers, get direct personal one-on-one support, chat one-on-one with trained support specialists, and it's always usually a secure technology somehow. So there's like some fun things I've been learning. How, like, if you're in a certain situation, you can pretty much like call, like, play like you're calling to order pizza. It's certain signs that, you know, pizza delivery people know to look for. It's certain signs you can even, I think it's this right here. Y'all just be aware and do your research. Like whole signs that you can hold up your hand and make a certain signal, and people around you will be able to know that you're in some type of crisis or situation. And then I would say anybody, the days we live in today, you might want to have these numbers saved and programmed either for yourself or because you might come across a situation. You might know somebody and you don't want to get you don't want to intervene without getting hurt, so you can send help all kind of different ways. Anyways, yes, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Many people sometimes sexual assaults lead to unplanned pregnancies. It's one thing to choose who you come together with and this happens, but imagine being raped or something, guys, molested or something, guys, and you end up pregnant. This is already many women's stories, and personally, I think it's ultimately terrible sad. Any way I can advocate, you know, I would. And you have fathers too that this has happened to whole wives. Their whole wife, their wife was out somewhere, she got kidnapped, this happened. She has to decide ultimately if she's going to keep that baby or not. And you got a lot of good fathers out there, husbands that chose to keep the child and raise the child, because at the end of the day, it's necessarily not that child's fault, you know, when it comes to rapes and things like this. Just encouraging you guys out there to expand your knowledge when it comes to odd content behaviors as well, things on social media, because it's simply that time, that age, that era where you might see risky behaviors even on those. Now, people have a right to pretty much be who they want to be, but there's certain signs and flags you can look for. Whether somebody's being assaulted on a day-to-day basis, and we're talking sexually on this. I mean, you can as an adult, but I'm gonna say more so as a parent, you should always be able to sense something is not right, or be able to pinpoint when your child's behavior is off. Because see, school counselors and teachers can do that. It's better that you be a parent or an adult. If you are in a church. And you might even notice this. I don't know why I brought that place up first, but these type of things are happening behind the scenes in places that you wouldn't believe. So that's why I brought up church. I'm not against it or saying that every church is doing this, but definitely pay attention to women and children and the elderly. Anybody that could look like they, you know what I mean, are in a vulnerable position, or they don't have as much strength, or they don't have as much support in life, definitely watch those. But and we need just as many people watching those as you have sickos and weirdos and abusers out here that watch those, because these are usually the people that they target. do intervene. We advocate that. Intervene when you see harmful behaviors happening to somebody, or if you get a sense that it might be, whether they be work rooms, classrooms, social media platforms. There are ways you can intervene without even, stepping in physically. Bystander intervention is pretty much something anyone can use to prevent unwanted or potential harmful circumstances while helping others feel safe and supported. And we just kind of talked about that, like maybe reaching out or sending referrals to people that may be in those type of situations and just not know resources to help them out of it. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment with the Crown Content Publication Services family YouTube channel, where publishing and marketing do meet. I'll probably do more segments because, like, I know I was talking about National Poetry Month and Autism Month being in April, but with it being Sexual Assault Awareness Month as well, definitely could probably bring more tips and facts here when it comes to statistics, the percentage rates and things. Just not in one country, one state, or nothing like that. When I come with a segment like this, we'll be talking global statistics because something is going on with society. If people can't learn to keep their hands to their self in general. This is not just sexual assaults, physical assaults, verbal assaults. Like, people are really human beings are. They're like an aggressive. We talk about animals being animals and them being in the wild. Human beings are naturally like kind of like beasts too. Like, we have these tendencies, and if people do not at least get help to keep their tendencies more human-like, I do believe this could be a real problem, because you shouldn't have people out here just abusing each other. Just because they can, any chance they get. It makes me see the beast in human. I no longer look at them human anymore. We see these news articles about parents who did this, or a stepfather or boyfriend who did this to the child or to the girlfriend. Immediately I think beast nature, beast minded, beast tendencies. And where were the people to notice the signs and the flags long before whatever happened? And what are these people doing after it happens to keep that child and that woman protected, or keep that man or that elderly or that deaf or blind person protected from it to happening again? So yeah, it does take a village. It takes us as humankind looking at our tendencies, looking at what's in us on the inside, and paying attention to the fact that anything you let grow wildly is going to be wild. Anything you let roam wildly is going to be wild. And pay attention to people, because you got a lot of wild people out here. They don't care. So you don't let them be who they are, but you should know your boundaries, who you will and not allow in your personal space, your personal business, because people are just beginning to show wild, WILD, tendencies as humans. Yes, like I said, I think it's probably a natural instinct, but it needs to be tamed or something. It definitely needs to be tamed, especially through a pandemic. People are just really losing it. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, if you do end up checking out some of my publications on the website, book publications, and you end up going to Amazon to order, or you download the Amazon Kindle app, because that is one way you can access ebooks. Every ebook on Amazon for free. You can just subscribe and get you a plan that allows you unlimited access to books. Either way, you subscribe to Amazon, or if you read it, or if you purchase it and screenshot me confirmation of that and forward that to Crown Content Publications at AOL.com, we will send you a free complimentary bookmark from the Crown Content Publication Services family. Can you use it in your ebook? No, but you can definitely use it in a book lying around your house or something, or at your office. So thank you guys.